Hey, everybody, welcome back. Something's been on my mind a lot lately, and I bet it's on yours too.
Let me guess.
Profitability, how to make our practices as profitable as possible,
Right.
right?
Absolutely. Always top of mind.
And one of the biggest pieces of that puzzle, it's DVM staff costs.
For sure. A huge chunk of the budget.
So in this deep dive, we're really going to dig into this document all about optimizing practice management, and I think you guys are going to find some really practical stuff in here.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I actually just reviewed it earlier. What I found really interesting was the focus on working smarter, not harder. We're going to really break down these simple tweaks that can actually equal big impact on your bottom line.
Okay, so get this right out of the gate. The document throws out this number, and it kind of caught me off guard. It says, ideally, DVM costs should be 18% of total revenue, or lower.
18%?
18%. I don't know about you, but that feels a little ambitious.
Yeah, it's a benchmark for sure. But it's critical to keep in mind. Every percentage point above 18% is revenue that honestly could be going towards, well, a lot of things. Like that new ultrasound machine you've been wanting.
Oh, tell me about it. Or even just more money back in our pocket.
Exactly. So let's say, just as an example, a practice brings in $1 million in revenue annually. Not crazy, pretty standard, right? If their DVM costs are at 20%, that's $200,000.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
If they can get it down to that 18% goal, that's an extra $20,000 back in their pocket.
Okay, see, now when you put it that way, those percentage points really, really start to add up fast.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk strategy. How do we actually make that 18% happen? Well, the document dives into a few things. One that I thought was interesting was drop-off appointments. Is that something you've seen work well in practice?
Totally. Drop-offs are amazing for efficiency. Basically, instead of a room sitting empty while an owner's, filling out paperwork or whatever, the technician can bring in the next patient, get them prepped. It keeps things moving. In the right practice, we're talking a 10–15% increase in patient volume just by streamlining that one thing.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to hear. More efficient use of time, more appointments, potentially more revenue.
Yeah.
Music to my ears. Now, here's another one that caught my eye. Delegating certain tasks away from the DVM.
Oh, I like where this is going. Tell me more.
Things like finalizing charges, right? And I know this seems obvious, but I think a lot of us, myself included, we get in the habit of just doing it ourselves.
Oh, it's a classic trap. But picture this. You have a dedicated patient advocate that's their whole job. They go over the bill with the client, answer any questions, get that whole financial part taken care of. And what does that free up the vet to do?
See more patients. Okay, that's actually brilliant. I love it. So it's not about rushing through explaining the bill. It's about having a dedicated point person to handle it. It just seems so much less chaotic.
Way less chaotic, streamlined.
Exactly. Now, I gotta be honest, the next strategy in the document, it kind of made me laugh when I first read it. Time studies. Are we really breaking out the stopwatches and clipboard?
I know, right? Sounds very old school. But honestly, at the heart of it, it's just about figuring out where your bottlenecks are. So think of it like this. Have you ever been stuck in a really slow checkout line at the grocery store?
Oh, all the time.
Right. And you just want to be like, come on, people, let's go.
I know, right?
A time study would basically be looking at that checkout line and figuring out, okay, what's the holdup? Is it the cashier? Is the credit card machine broken? You know what I mean?
Totally, yeah.
And then once you understand where the problem is, you can actually fix it, streamline it.
It's like that saying, work smarter, not harder, right?
I got it.
So, okay, you could use a time study to figure out if your patient check-in process is a total mess.
Absolutely. Or if there's a bottleneck somewhere with how appointments are flowing through the day.
And then once you find those areas that need help, you can start thinking about what can be delegated or how can we streamline this workflow? Or maybe even, do we need new technology for this?
Exactly.
Okay, last but not least, the document really stresses something I know we've all heard before, but how often are we actually doing it? Reviewing and adjusting our pricing.
It's so important. Costs change all the time. Meds, supplies, equipment. If your prices haven't changed in a while, you could be losing serious money without realizing it.
Yeah, I know. And it's so easy to just get bogged down in the day-to-day and put off those pricing reviews.
The struggle is real.
So listeners, seriously, I want you to think about this right now. When was the last time you actually took a hard look at your fee schedule? And were you honest with yourself about it?
Yeah. We all want to be kind and compassionate with our pricing, but we also need to run a business.
Totally.
It's all about finding that sweet spot where you're providing excellent care, you're compensating your team fairly, and your practice is, financially healthy. And it's not always easy.
It's a balancing act for
But
sure.
the good news is even small changes made consistently can really add up to big, big results over time. It's not about some overnight fix. It's about choosing to make those small changes and sticking with it.
Awesome. Well said. And there you have it. Another deep dive in the books.